Well, we'll go ahead and call the regular May meeting of the Human Rights Commission to order. And we'll go through roll call. Commissioner Harkin is absent. Kolash present. Commissioner Kadura.
Here.
Commissioner Priest.
Here.
Commissioner Lusala.
Here.
Commissioner Paul Schatz.
Here.
Commissioner Minda Shannon.
I'm present.
And Commissioner Mohammed, also absent. Okay.
That's too bad.
All right, do we have someone to read the Native American land acknowledgement, please? I'll do it tonight. We meet today in the community of Iowa City, which now occupies the homelands of Native American nations, to whom we owe our commitment and dedication. The area of Iowa City was within the homelands of the Iowa, Meskwaki, and Sauk. And because history is complex and time goes far back beyond memory, we also acknowledge the ancient connections of many other indigenous peoples here. The history of broken treaties and forced removal that dispossessed indigenous peoples of their homelands was and is an act of colonization and genocide that we cannot erase. We implore the Iowa City community to commit to understanding and addressing these injustices as we work toward equity, restoration, and reparations. Agenda item 3, public comment of items not on the agenda. And seeing no one here in the chamber, we'll move on to item 4. Approval of our minutes from the April 22nd meeting and the May 13th meeting, and these are included in the packet. April 22nd was our regular meeting, and the May 13th was the special meeting for the grant applications. If there are any discussions, we'll take a motion to approve.
So move.
I'll second that.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, minutes approved. Agenda item 5, correspondence. It appears there's none in the packet. Stephanie, is there any other correspondence that we need to be aware of? Nope. All right. Moving along then, item 6, we have a sponsorship request for Welcome Week. This is a separate form that we all have here in front of us. Just briefly here, the description, the Welcome Weekend Committee is in the planning stages for its 3rd annual event that will be happening on September 12th, 13th, and 14th. The event celebrates the diversity of our vibrant community through a variety of weekend events. The East Side Block Party will kick off the weekend on Friday. Sunday's event includes an outdoor multicultural service with praise and celebration. Following this is a free community meal and cultural displays, music, and children's activities at Mercer Park. They are requesting $250.
I recommend we approve the request.
Any discussion, questions,
No second.
or a second?
I was waiting for a second, but I do have a question. It says that there's an attached itemized budget, but I don't see it. Maybe there wasn't one. Sorry, actually, it might not be one. It just says attached itemized budget at the end.
Yeah, they didn't. I reached out today, hoping they could get one, but I didn't hear back. But if it's you could just make the motion subject to the presentation of a, like a reasonable budget for the event.
Okay.
So I
amendment.
second with that exception.
Okay. All right, so motion to approve the request pending submission of a budget. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carried. Hey, items 7, 8, 9 are.
Sorry,
No,
can
go
I-
ahead.
In case if we don't even approve or does not, if we are waiting for their budget, if we don't receive it and we don't go through the motion of approving the grant for them, can we still be a kind sponsor by advertising their event through the Human Rights Commission?
I mean, you can, but say that again. I'm sorry, in the microphone.
Like usually when we have, events that we'd like to participate with or support, usually we can do just an advertisement, like through, in kind sponsorship through, advertising their event as a Human Rights Commission. So it helps, in, spreading the word and welcoming others to join in.
So instead of the 250?
Not instead,
Oh,
we
okay.
could do it alongside if they get approved for the 250.
Yeah, I think if they get approved for the 250, then it would be considered, then the city would promote it.
Promote it. Okay.
But what if not? Can we still promote it as,
I don't-
without the donations?
I can't, yeah, I mean,
I think
if it hasn't happened in the past, it's because it probably hasn't been asked. Because, I mean, if it's city money supporting it, it's going to be promoted. It may not be promoted as heavily as, say, a city-sponsored event, but it is promoted.
Because I had the privilege of joining their planning committee for this year, and I only, was able to attend one of their meetings so far. And, and I think, it's a great event. I have attended the past 2 years, and it's really, it benefits everyone to be there, especially around this time. It's a fun, communal event where it just, makes people heal and be happy and just, feel that we're still together until this time.
Well, we are approved to sponsor it, so hopefully.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we can promote it, the city can promote it too,
Yeah.
so,
And a lot of that is going to be dependent on whether they send stuff too.
yeah,
Okay,
So
sure.
they have to send stuff to me for, you
Yeah.
know,
to be promoted.
Promote it.
for, yeah. It's,
Yeah.
just because they do a post, it doesn't mean that the city will capture that and repost it. It's better for them to just send me the stuff directly and get a post that way.
Okay, sure. We're having our next meeting tomorrow, so
Okay,
we'll talk
perfect.
about
Good.
it. Hopefully update you then.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Item 7, Juneteenth, which will be held on June 19th. I assume this is to talk about tabling at
Yeah,
the event?
yeah, I mean, it's actually being held on the holiday this year. And it will be where they used to do the diversity market over in the South District in that, like where where the post office is, in that lot. So that's where it will be at this year,
Oh,
instead of downtown.
So it won't be on the Ped Mall? Oh,
And I don't actually have the hours yet to give you, but if anybody knows they're available, even if it would be for a few hours, great. But they just haven't sent any firm times for vendors.
so the whole celebration will be over there? Like, usually we do the table here and then there's a whole.
Yeah, it's all, so Black Voices is leading the effort this year. So yeah, everything will be over. Now, when I say that, there's other activities planned along with Juneteenth that are occurring, I think, on Saturday and Sunday, that I think Dream City's doing. But in terms of the Juneteenth celebration and stuff, that will be the 19th.
That's where we gonna have a table.
Yeah, you can if you want one. And some of this stuff is still getting figured out, but that's what I know as of right now.
Okay.
okay.
There might still be a band, I would have to double check, but it's still, even if there is a band, it's just a part of the Friday night concert series. And there's still, to my knowledge, I don't believe there's any vendors or anything that will be participating as a part of that on Friday night.
Okay, so if Human Rights is gonna have a table as a part of the vendor, I would be interested in volunteering for that.
Thanks, Roger.
I
I think,
Yes, thank you.
I've done it since we started, so
yeah.
there's no sense in stopping now.
I think depending on the
We got good
timing
slides.
that day, I could potentially also help.
Yeah.
But I need to probably see the hours first before I
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
commit to it.
Me too.
I totally agree.
Workday.
Yes, yeah, send me the hours,
Thanks,
because
Stephanie.
Juneteenth is a federal holiday, but it's not a state holiday, so some of us that work for the state, we don't get a day off until after.
Right. All right, great.
Yeah.
So it sounds like we're all in favor of doing a table. and we'll just wait on more information and,
I can read
Determine
you
who
the
can-
flyer as it reads right now, but again, it doesn't give me.
Yes.
the-
Yes.
It says Juneteenth 2025, presented by the Black Voices Project, Reckoning, Reclaiming the Past, Remembering Black Voices, Reshaping the Future, South the 6th District Parking Lot, 925 Highway 6 East, Thursday, June 19th. The event will include, it says The Freedom Walk, Black Style in Motion fashion show, Rhythms of Resilience, which will be a live performance, the Freedom Fest Soul Food and Solidarity Community Meal, Truth Told History and Storytelling, family activities, local vendors, art, and giveaways, but there's just not a time on it.
Okay.
So,
okay. Right. And we likely would probably have a couple different shifts as well.
Yeah.
So, okay. All right, then same discussion for the Pride celebration, which is 2 days later on a Saturday, the 21st.
Yeah.
and I think they want everyone set up by 12, if I remember the instructions correctly. And of course, I realize that I think it goes like literally all day, so the expectation is not for somebody to be there all day, because it would be a long day.
Go ahead.
I can start at 12,
Okay.
or at least take, that shift to help to set up. Last year I went to your house. Roger
pick up
picked
the-
some stuff up.
Yeah.
So we have 2 tables now, so.
I was gonna say, we also have a
I'll
day
have
in
to-
between this year. There is a day in between this year.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. And we have a table from TRC, so
Okay.
the office has 2 tables technically now. So I can just catch up with both of you with the goodies prior to the event. The only thing is maybe that, I'll have to check to see if there's 2 tablecloths for the commission. But yeah, there's 2 tables, and we have like 5 chairs, so should be a lot easier this year.
I just wanted to mention that last year, so I took the second shift at the Pride Parade, which was basically non-existent because the activities move away from the parade area, right? So our location was spectacular. And Dr. Liz did an incredible job, but we also then ran out of materials. So
Yes.
if anyone's thinking about joining, I would just say maybe we can do the relief a little bit earlier than how Dr. Liz and I did it last year, because I reckon you were pretty exhausted by the time I showed up, I think, and there were no more materials. So maybe as we're all looking at our schedules, just keep that in mind, that maybe having relief, I don't know, 2 p.m. by
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
would be good.
yeah.
Maybe shorten the
Everybody
time.
was always at the activity, so we were kind of
Yeah.
then at that point, everything was very quiet.
Yeah. And things usually kind of start, the vendor areas kind of wind down around
Yeah.
4 or 5. So,
Exactly.
yeah, if we do maybe 2 shifts, 12 to 2, 2 to 4, then
Yes.
kind of see from there. So, okay. I can do it this year as well. The UI alumni group is not doing a table this year. No, we can get into it later, but it is a very much a no pride for some of us, where no pride for some of us without liberation for all of us
Wow.
is the rallying cry and so, yeah. So yes, 12 to 2 and 2 to 4.
I like that.
Yeah, okay.
My arm's hurting. I wasn't.
Is ready to interpret that as a signal, Stephanie.
Yeah, no, sorry. And we have a lot of Pride yard signs that are the design from last year. Juneteenth, I don't even know if we have 25, but the Pride yard signs, we probably have 243. Because, so if you know of anybody who wants them, they're here at the front desk, 8 to 5. So, and if you want some, for the event, just let me know.
Perfect.
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be great.
We always want.
They match the
yes, sign.
banners actually right outside the City Hall.
We like the sign.
Yeah.
We like to wear it proudly. I'm in the corner, so I put them sideways.
Same, I live on the corner, yeah, which I need a new one because the winter was not nice to mine. I leave it out all year, so. Yeah. Okay, so we've got 12 to 2, 2 to 4. Dr. Liz, you will set up again, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And I can do 2 to 4 just for coverage, and then Kelsey, you're going to check your schedule, or are you going
Yeah,
to, or
yeah.
do you not know?
I will join either of those times.
Okay.
You can count on me. And then Doug, what we did last year is like, someone was actually in the City Hall building at the end when I was tearing down, and so I just literally brought it a block down, I think.
Oh,
But
nice.
we
Okay.
can talk about that too.
Perfect.
Yep.
All right, sounds good. Then item number 9, Party in the Park, which occurs every Thursday from June 12th to August 14th. And if I'm right, this rotates different parks, different neighborhoods?
Yeah, so it was just an opportunity. I know you had talked about doing outreach and education. So if, if you live in an area near a park and wanted to participate and get a table, it's a city-sponsored event, so it's easy enough to do. To just let me know, and I'll get you the brochures and like merch and stuff.
Is there a time?
Do we have a schedule?
You know,
Yeah.
yeah, there is. I can send it out, and then you
Yeah.
can just let me know if you're
That'd be great.
interested. Okay.
Good.
I think especially, I think a lot of us kind of span across many different locations in the
Yeah.
city, so maybe even just taking our local park, like I live right next to my local park.
Me
So
too.
I'd be happy to, yeah. Yeah.
Just walk over to Calder Park.
So is this like a city event that's been happening before, or?
Yes.
So what type of party do they do? Like, do they do an actual party at every park, or?
And they usually
much,
have
yeah.
like somebody singing, and the neighborhood come to the park and just get to know your neighbors, and the city usually sometimes bring in activity for the kids.
And I'll find you, Viana, at Willow Creek.
Yeah.
Yes, I'll be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we have a schedule, so we can, yeah.
I'll try to get it sent out tonight.
Okay.
Okay.
And I like exploring different parks, so I don't mind being in different parks different days, too.
Come out my way, yeah, absolutely.
All right, great. Then agenda item 10, Human Rights Grant Recommendations to City Council for fiscal year 2025 update.
So those are in the system, just waiting to get the approval that moves them along the process to appear on the agenda for Tuesday, January, Tuesday, June 3rd at 6 PM would be the council meeting. And I think last year it was Doug and Kelsey who came. I don't anticipate, I think it will be a little smoother this year, just because a lot has changed since that time. But if there would at least be 2 commissioners who could come and answer city council questions that they may have about why you chose a particular grant. I think you they'll open the item up and they'll ask for any public comment, and you just kind of go and give an overview, and then from there, they may have questions and they may not. So it's just kind of hit and miss.
Because I'm not available on the weekend of the 19th through the 21st of June, I can certainly be available on the 3rd.
Okay.
That's excellent.
I'd like to do it with someone.
I am out of town. I think Doug, you are as well.
I'm also
Yeah.
in DC at a human rights conference, so.
Liz?
I'm out as well.
Me too.
Oh, no.
I have like,
I can be there.
I can be there, but, maybe Emily wants to do this?
I can check
she
with
might.
her,
That'd be great.
and I'll get you
I'll
the
be there
stuff
in
you need.
support.
I like it. It's a team sport.
Yeah.
This life thing. Okay.
Thanks, Mark.
I'll be there in support, cheering you
Thanks,
on.
Roger.
Thanks, Roger.
You're going to coach me, right, Stephanie?
Yes. I'll send you the clip from last year, just so you kind of get a feel for how it.
well, he might change his mind then.
She gives you,
It wasn't bad. I don't think it was bad.
It
was it?
wasn't,
Cues you
it wasn't
in.
bad.
It
no,
wasn't
but-
bad.
It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll send from the year prior.
Maybe just keep in mind too, like we ended up having to stay through a very interesting but long city council meeting. That evening went very late, so just keep an eye out on the agenda before you join.
yeah.
But
I
I-
remember one year, it was like 11 o'clock at night.
Oh, wow.
But
They're always
Have
at
it.
the end of the agenda
That
because of
was,
the hierarchy of
that was
items.
a long city council agenda.
Yeah.
compelling for me is how differently we did it this year. in terms of our evaluations and our transparency. I think it was more helpful to a lot of people, especially us. So,
And I think that's really
Comment was
just,
great.
you just go and say, this was our process this year, it was different, this is what was great about it, and you have the recommendations in front of you.
Yes.
And that's it.
turn the preacher loose.
There you go. Uh-huh.
And they have the final decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they have, as a part of their full packet, they have a summary
Yes.
of each grant that you're recommending for
Right.
funding along with the amount. So you don't necessarily have to repeat any of that because they do have that right in front of them.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Okay, good.
And I think you have, if you, in the notes for the grant recommendations, I wrote little entry paragraphs if you want to reference that for most of them, but not all of them. So just, okay.
Excellent. Those little summaries.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, and you also, the minutes that we have in our packet tonight also.
Got it.
Do a pretty good job of the summary. Yep. Okay. Awesome, thank you, Mark.
Yep.
Okay, item 11, we've gotten to reports of commissioners and staff. An opportunity for very brief updates from staff and commissioners. Reminder that commissioners cannot engage in discussion on any reports. Stephanie, we'll start with you.
I don't necessarily have anything, but I did want to throw out there that your next meeting is June 24th, and you've kind of, I was telling Liz this the other day, you've basically had 3 meetings in May already, with today and with the youth awards and then with the grant. So usually you take the month of July off, but I didn't know, if you wanted to take both months off unless something comes up where you feel you need to meet, or if you wanted to bump it up to June, just because I know and appreciate, because I realize you are volunteers and you definitely have put in a lot of hours, particularly in the month of May. So just trying to be mindful and respectful of that, so.
I have stuff.
Go for it.
On the 21st, I will be at my goddaughter's son's graduation in Traverse City, Michigan. I married my goddaughter to Tanya, so Emily and Tanya, when they married, all of a sudden they had 5 boys. And here's the first one to graduate, and so it's going to be a great celebration to be part of that. I was at Luther College graduation on Sunday morning at 9 o'clock. I was on time. But I tell you about this because the first woman minister of foreign relations from Norway was the speaker. It was spectacular. I'm used to hearing speeches and applaud, but not when you're with the frozen chosen. The Norwegians don't do that. But Sudanese students, Palestinian students, Greek students, they just erupted, and many and various times. It was really nice to see this cultural mix. There were graduates from the United States, Norway, Sudan, Vietnam, Greece, Palestine, are some of the ones that I recognized. This was simply a marvelous experience in diversity, and not just the names and places, but the way the cultures thrived in this.
Thanks, Mark.
Nice.
Oh, and tomorrow Leslie and I will be married 53 years.
Oh, nice.
We got married very, very young. No.
It was 7.
Sure, I'll go. I wanted to apologize. I was not here at our last one, but I did include my comments on the grants and all that. So thank you for your hard work. I really appreciate it. My only update is that we are starting the efforts for the coalition. This is the idea that we had, that it was born out of the time that we went to visit with the recipients of our grants from the last one. And one idea that had come up was that we don't know what A provides and B provides, and when you put them all together, they kind of actually are a puzzle and they fit together. So the coalition then will include the folks, the folks that are accepted for grants for this term, we will be inviting them. This way, it could be a part of our coalition in terms of the support. And then, of course, open it up for the outside as well. The reason for the idea that the coalition will start with those who are receiving a grant is because we already know their mission is the mission that is part of our committee. And so afterwards, we are hoping then to have sort of a session, talk about intros and what our goals are and our mission.
Do you have dates yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
But we do know that, I know that June the 3rd, we have the council meeting. So once they are done with that, then we can move in.
Excellent. I can pile on. So Stephanie, I don't know if you needed us to decide on whether we would keep that regular meeting on June 24th tonight, but I would be okay with keeping it. I appreciate the offer. Thank you. But if it turns out we don't have quorum, we probably want to confirm that. I will just add on that in addition to, complementary to, a lot of the things that I know Liz and Emily have been working on, I've been building the community conversation set of dialogues. I've had really great conversations. I have a location. The problem now is just dates for the first conversation. So I had some vacation, others had vacation, and so I'm still landing on that, but I will send an email update probably in the next couple of weeks of when we're going to get those started and what that first conversational topic will be. And then in addition to that, I will be participating for only a portion of a meeting tomorrow that is focused on the community violence intervention model that we have here in Iowa City. There's a retreat at the neighborhood centers of Johnson County that some individuals are participating in. So I'm just going to join for a brief part of that to support them. And then next week I will be out of town in Philadelphia, not DC, not too far from you, Doug, for a meeting of peace and security funders from across the globe, I guess, but primarily the United States. Their annual meeting and really grappling with, I think, in places of privilege, how do you use that privilege when the threats are increasing and the challenges only becoming increasingly harder, right, when you're thinking about peace and security globally. So will hopefully be not just, hopefully a community conversation and support for one another in that.
Okay, I'll go next. So first of all, I'm just going to highlight what we did with the Youth Awards. It was really impactful, especially, for the girls I work with and the group of awesome young boys too. It meant a lot to them to receive the awards. And even their parents were thrilled that finally, like their kids have a voice in school, recognized voice that everyone now sees and hears. So I truly appreciate it. And I'm really, glad that we have this here in Iowa City. And I look forward for it to continue as well. Second thing, as Muslims, we celebrate our second main holiday, either June 6th or 7th, depending on the moon. Most likely on the 6th, I heard. But I'm planning a community event since I am the chair of the social committee at the Iman Center. And hopefully we can hold a big community event on June 8th. Which is a Sunday. We're trying to finalize things, but if you follow our, Facebook page or social media, you will see the advertisement, and you are welcome to join us. Finally, so much still going on. Our hearts still filled with rage and pain. The genocide is still, engulfing us in sorrow and anguish. And as much as we do, we cannot change things. But I encourage and I seek, and kindly advise everyone to keep speaking up and keep, we cannot bring lives back. We cannot, stop the war. We cannot cease the fire. But at least when we speak about it, when we stand for the humanity, we free ourselves from the shackle of the oppressors. So I hope that we all, when we stand with other people and things, we share our opinions and we voice ourselves. And we don't consent to those things by our silence, by giving our silence. We're not the same people, and we will never be again after what happened in our countries. And I truly appreciate everyone who speaks up and everyone who just shares our stories with others. That's it. Thank you.
Thanks, Bianna.
Roger, do you want to go?
Yes. Well, first I want to, again, thank Stephanie and actually recognize you for all the work you always do for all those events that we do, especially the Youth Award. I know there's a lot of work that goes behind the scene to make that happen. It doesn't just... It doesn't just run that smoothly by itself. So there's a lot of work that goes behind the scene. I know you're very humble. You don't like to be recognized, but we have to take the time to do that. And I will also want to, apologize to you guys because of my absence in the month of May. I was going through transition, so I had to take time kind of for myself to take care of myself and deal with things that I was dealing with. So I did that. Yes, kind of, Vienna, yes, I feel your pain with the things that your community is going through. The people of Congo are going through the struggle in the Eastern Congo. People are dying. People are fighting for things that those wars are not needed. Are not needed. So just keep them in your heart, keep them in your prayer, keep them in your thought. No matter what your beliefs are, people should at least, especially children, should live to see the next day, to grow up, to have a chance. We're losing too many children in this world because of the decisions of adults and the decision of people in power. So let's keep children in our thoughts and prayer. And this weekend, one of my bonus daughter will be graduating, so it kind of fills my heart. I came into this girl's life when she was in 3rd grade, and she lost her father to cancer, and I started coaching her in soccer, and she'll be playing. She got recruited with a scholarship to play for Mount Mercy Soccer next year, which it's a pride because we connected in soccer. We also connected because I also lost my mom when I was young, so we kind of had something to connect. So it's kind of a pride thing for me to see her flourish and graduating and moving on to her next thing. So yeah, so it's kind of pride moment. So yes, so it's good to see you guys. It was good to see you all at the award ceremony, and it's good to be here.
Good to have you, Bobby.
Thank you, Roger. I'd like to just echo Roger's comments on the Youth Awards. Always a highlight of the year. Again, special thanks to Stephanie, who just does an amazing job. We show up, and she has done everything, and it is just always runs so smoothly. And thanks to Mark and Kelsey for speaking, and Roger and Liz for assisting as well. So I think that it was just a great night. And special thanks to the mayor, who always shows up and brings this energy and joy to the room as well. As I mentioned earlier, I leave Monday to go to Washington, D.C. to a human rights conference for a week, followed by the conference is part of the World Pride celebrations, which happen every couple of years. The Association of Pride networks across the world all get together. They decide where World Pride will be. It was in Copenhagen a couple years ago. It's in Washington, D.C. this year because it's the 50th anniversary of the D.C. Pride celebration. In addition to the parade and everything on Saturday, Sunday there is a rally at the Lincoln Memorial and a march to stand up for the human rights of the LGBTQ community. One thing I'm really looking forward to, though, during the conference is one of the keynote speakers is Bishop Marianne Budde.
Oh, yeah.
you might recall from the Trump administration's inaugural
Yes.
service at the National Cathedral, right? And I think I'm very excited to hear her comments and kind of look at a couple of the sessions within the conference on the intersectionality between religion and LGBTQ rights, because I think that no matter your beliefs, that there's a dignity and there are basic rights that all humans deserve and that we all should stand up for, no matter what our personal beliefs are. I am thankful to be a part of this commission where we all seem to agree with that, and I'm excited to learn and hopefully bring some of that back and share with you as well. So a week long of focus and learning how to fight better for rights and learning, and then a weekend of fun, because that's what our community does. So yes. Jennifer Lopez, Cynthia Erivo, it's going to be a lot of fun. So so those are my announcements there. If we move on to item 12, we can discuss a little bit about our meeting in June. And Kelsey, you already said you'd be supportive of that. I would too. I think
Supportive
of holding the meeting in June. Yeah. We've been doing awards and grants and things. It might be good to have a kind of check-in on our community conversations. We'll know more on the coalition, kind of, a little bit more business, right?
I was wondering too
But
about.
thoughts from others,
Yeah, just to add on to that, Doug, I was wondering too about, since that will be after, ideally, the grants have been presented, the grant recommendations, we could even at that point in time assign ourselves to the racial equity and social just grant recipients, grantees, and then also start to make a game plan so that we don't miss the summer altogether in establishing contact, because it can be harder once they've already done the activity. So some of those activities are taking place in June and July too, so just important to keep that in mind.
Sounds good.
I think if we get our work done in June, then we can take July off.
Yeah.
Not to sound like a mom,
Yeah.
but yeah. All right, so our next regular meeting then will be June 24th. Okay,
Sounds good.
with that, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we are adjourned. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you.
You, please.